Hi, Texas. Thanks for stopping by CBS 19 Plus. Where do we begin? It's been a really interesting last 24 hours. We were talking at this time yesterday about the cap being in place and how that could prevent thunderstorms from forming, and indeed that did, as we stayed dry right through midnight, and then overnight into the early morning hours, we had the cold front come through. Only the showers and thunderstorms didn't line up along the front and just kind of march across the area, providing everyone with an equal amount of rain. We had little cells that rode up along the front, and then additional cells that built farther to the south, developed and moved along the front and fell apart. And then finally, once we got into deep East Texas, where by about 3, 4, 5 o'clock this morning, the best instability was found. That's where we ended up with 3/10 to almost a half inch of rainfall. So just a really fascinating last 24 hours. Tyler, you'll note here, barely anything. I think officially will come in with about a trace. Longview, just about 3/100 of an inch along with Henderson. And now we look ahead to next week. If you're traveling to Chicago or Minneapolis or anywhere around the Great Lakes, coming up, I'm going to talk about a potential significant winter storm next week for the upper Midwest. Not here in Texas. We're going to stay warm. In fact, you could almost say it's spring-like over the next 7 to 10 days. We're going to see temperatures in the afternoon above average, overnight lows above average. It's just fascinating when we look at everything. All right, here's Future Skycast. We've got a cold night tonight setting up. Clear skies, light winds, high pressure overhead. All right, so we'll clear the sky out at some point during the evening hours, and then overnight with the light winds, we get what we call maximum radiational cooling. So any heat that the Earth absorbed during the day, that is released back to space. And the faster that releases, the colder it gets. And in this case tonight, with this high pressure system building south into West Texas and no cloud cover, we are going to be very cold, down to about 30 degrees. Deep East Texas tomorrow has a better chance to see more cloud cover as that high pressure system kind of retreats to the west and then starts to build back to the east over East Texas. Now, sometimes we have things called dirty highs. Typically, high pressure is associated with clear skies, light winds, either very cold winter days or very hot summer days. And this is a dirty high because at the surface, we've got cloud cover kind of trapped. That cloud cover is going to stay with us through the day, Friday into Saturday. So that will hold the temperature down with a light north wind. And once that wind switches to the southeast on Saturday, it still holds the temperature in the 50s just due to the cloud cover. We do see the clouds thin out, maybe just a little bit Saturday morning, but essentially we're just looking at cloudy skies through the day Saturday. Could there be a sprinkle? Yeah, it's probably less than 20% at this point, but you can see that little sprinkle that went by Saturday night into Sunday. And then Sunday, we have a warm front lifting back to the north. The high pressure system is centered over the Gulf, and it may stay there for a while. And that means the next several days could be much above average. Anyway, southerly winds bringing in moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, increasing the cloud cover, increasing the humidity, very spring-like feel as we get into next week. Next 5 days, easily. Tomorrow's the coolest of the next 5. Saturday, though, pretty cool, below average. The average high is around 62. Saturday will still be at around 56. Sunday, we pop above average up to 70. Then Monday, Tuesday, low 80s. Spring-like but breezy. We'll have some winds out of the south-southwest at about 10 to 20 miles an hour. Next Wednesday may be the windiest of the next 7 to 10 days. I'll talk about that in the 10-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Also, next Wednesday, there is a 50% chance for rain. No chance of rain through the weekend, so you get a dry weekend. Even though it's cool, we have some clouds. I mean, we could throw in a 20% chance for Saturday, but we're talking about sprinkles maybe Saturday night. Next Wednesday, 50% chance for rain, and that's where you'll find all of this rainfall. In the rainfall outlook over the next 7 days, you'll find all of that occurring next Wednesday. To prove that to you, let me show you the next 2 days. Nothing here in East Texas. Next 3 days should be the same. Next 5 days should keep everything here. There's a little bit maybe with those sprinkles, maybe Saturday night into Sunday. But really over the next 7 days, the bulk of this is going to end up falling next Wednesday. And that's only about 1/4 of an inch to maybe a ½ inch of rainfall. It's not a heavy rainfall amount or event. All right, so let's take a look at the rainfall reports for February. Tyler's still sitting at 2.5 inches For the month of February, that is about 3/4 of an inch above average for the month. And for the year, sitting at about 1¼ inches above average. In Longview, a little bit below average, and also now Lufkin falling below average in the rain gauge, but for the year, staying a little bit above average. All right, 10-day temperature trend. And again, as I said, it's going to be above average. We're going to see temperatures above average through beginning Sunday and staying that way through really the rest of the 10-day forecast. That's during the day with a few daytime highs in the low 80s. Then at night, next couple of nights are the coldest, and then temperatures are well above average. You'll see plants starting to spring up. I'm sure we've already seen some of the daffodils trying to pop up, some of the crocus. So this will continue. I'm a little concerned that we're not done with at least another freeze somewhere in our future, if not even as late March. All right, let's talk about this potential winter storm next week. Again, not here in East Texas, not anywhere near Texas, but St. Louis, Chicago, Minneapolis, back toward Denver, North South Dakota, up toward, say, Detroit, Cleveland. What's happening? Big low pressure system out in the west. Lots of Pacific moisture racing in here. So we'll see clouds and those rain showers Wednesday. And then cold air at the surface is sitting right in here. So we have what's called an overrunning event. It was warm air running up over top that cold air at the surface, and you get this broad swath of snow from Denver to Minneapolis, likely by maybe the middle to latter part of next week, into Chicago, into the Great Lakes. We have this little area of rain that moves by as we head into Wednesday and into Thursday. So if you have travel plans, again, next week, upper Midwest, out toward Denver, perhaps even you're planning a ski trip, you'll get a lot of great snow in the Colorado Rockies coming up next week. All right, otherwise, we are just generally talking about, in terms of rainfall and temperatures, some pretty nice weather coming up here for tomorrow. It'll be a little bit cool with no rain. All right, here's the forecast for Friday, 34 and sunshine, 38, 10 a.m. Then at 11 a.m., we'll have a north wind, a little on the chilly side with that north wind, mostly sunny skies, and that temperature tomorrow into the lower 50s. 51 in Pittsburgh tomorrow. We should do about 52 at Gilmer and Mineola, Longview, Tyler also in those low 50s, Jacksonville up to 52. Henderson mostly sunny, 54, and over Deep East Texas, generally mostly sunny, high temperatures, again, below average. Pop it up to 54 at Crockett, Groveton up to 54, and Center up to 53. All right, here's the Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine Joint Hospital 10-day forecast. Putting this all together for you. Tomorrow's a mostly sunny, but a cold start, a frosty start, 30 in the morning, 52 in the afternoon. More frost Saturday morning, then back up to 56 Saturday. And then you can say goodbye to the frost for the next 8 to 10 days. We've got generally morning lows in the mid-40s to even mid-60s. Daytime highs early next week in the low 80s. Chance of rain Wednesday, slightly cooler next Thursday, Friday, but we're back to the 70s, rounding out the 10-day forecast. Thanks for watching CBS 19+.